Hi, Mike DePung here, and I welcome you back to the channel. I assume that if you're here, you are doing work that is helping you to heal. Heal from various things, heal in various ways, but ultimately, healing is about awakening to who you really are, awakening to self, awakening to the fact that each of us is an expression of spirit incarnate, that we have these two operating systems that I talk about a lot, about ego and heart. Ego is overused and oversteps and usurps the place of heart if we don't awaken to heart and and really use that to process, filter, act, and respond to life, to step into the joy and into the divinity that we're each born with, that we each come here to know. And it's simply that. But a lot of hurts come along the way because of ego involvement. And it's not that ego is bad. It's just that we need to recognize its function and how to use it and how to use heart and to call in heart and to nurture those things. And I work in the realms of energy as a shaman, as one who understands that there are things beyond what we can just see and sense here. Or not sense, but see and know and feel. And that goes beyond the five senses. There are these other worlds, and I've spoken about that. And one of the things that I've thought about a lot recently is this concept of time, and it's part of our life, and it's part of the middle world that we're in. It's not a part of our other world experiences. The other worlds that we each have access to are to the lower world of the ancestors and of those on the other side of the veil. It's not a part of the upper world. But it is part of this experience, and we need to acknowledge that. We can say that it's an illusion, we live in it, but sometimes not recognizing the aspects and the elements about time can hurt us in terms of the collective understanding what's going on and in terms of personal healing. For certain races and cultures that don't mark my experience in this incarnation, not recognizing what's gone on can be very hurtful. And for the rest of us who refuse to see it, it also hurts us and limits us. And I'm thinking specifically, maybe this is all kind of vague. There are those who in the United States, they don't want certain things to be taught about history because they say it's demeaning to us. It makes us feel guilty. Well, you only feel guilty if you allow that to start with. But they are things that are realities. People have rewritten, or let me put it this way, people have written history that leaves out the things that the ruling class and culture and race consider ugly, that they consider unworthy, that we can just grow past it and forget about it. That can hurt people. And that can hurt me as a white male. It can hurt those who have been discriminated against, those who have suffered, those who have been murdered. Anyway, my point is this. There are people today in time who create problems that don't really exist, and then they try to wipe out those problems. They try to wipe out those problems by denying the truth of what we have all been through. So, for instance, bad treaties were made with Indigenous peoples. And when Indigenous peoples now gaining knowledge and power, gaining more awareness and caring about themselves in a white world where they were made to not care about themselves, to think that they were less than human, they now exert some of that energy of love for themselves, and the people in power don't like it. And so they continue doing things like laying pipelines across their lands, or even adjacent to. I don't care, the technicalities of it mean little when you think about it in terms of love. And the same way for a race, the black race that was enslaved for in this nation, that were brought here as slaves, the African Americans, and they were um, they were just used as tools, as instruments, as something less than human beings. And it's all the kinds of things we need to own up to. And we need to not forget about, and we can't allow some people of certain political persuasions to say that, oh no, we can't do that. That was in the past. That's not true anymore. It's very true, because there are many incidents that happen every day that show that ugliness is still part of it. The only thing that is a cure to all of this is love. And we have forgotten. The collective, by and large, doesn't remember love. They just think in terms of time. They just think in terms of who gets the best deal. They just think in terms of who can be most powerful. And they don't think of love. My poem has to do with that. So having said this and just prefaced it, and I don't know what it means to any of you, I just know what it means to me, and I am passionate about it, obviously. So here's my poem, and I've just titled it for now. It might not be a finished poem, I don't know. Memorial and immemorial. Things that are remembered and things that are beyond the realm of our memory, beyond time. Memorial and immemorial. And I will be looking away from the camera because I'm going to read the poem. Designers of the intricate tapestries of time, not the majority, not the collective, but mostly the 0.5% of humanity, are the inhumane, fearmongers, love deniers. White background of the tapestries they direct serves to allow dynamic portrayals. The daring conquerors and conquistadors, the swaggering robber barons and self-satisfied captains of industry, titans of real estate. They matter little except for time memorial. These determine humanity's memories, their history. We know what they wish us to know. They choose the threads of the kings, the cochineal reds, indigo blues, the gold and silver. They direct the weavers to construct the memorials. They ignore the blemishes of the tapestry background, the muddy blotches, smudges of blood, and stains of tears. They don't want us to see. They have not held those stains in memoriam. They have minimized the stains with their pride, their ego, their ugliness. They have not known time immemorial, for time immemorial is love. Love in those tapestry stains not memorialized is love forgotten, neglected, is love oppressed, repressed. Each stain, a whole people, race, culture, bleached from memory by those purveyors of limited history. Such memorialized expressions of time are worthless. Those stains of love immemorial speak and prophesy and hold the truth of each of us. For love came before time, and the celebration of each stain is the celebration of love. That's the poem. I would encourage you, if you're in a healing process, to think about the collective, because it affects us. But think about yourself too. Hold everyone in love. You may not understand completely where they are coming from, but allies make an attempt to understand how the others think and feel, perhaps reasons why things are the way they are. And a history denied, like those who would have the 1619 Project not taught in schools, or those who scream loud and long about critical race theory with it being taught in public schools without knowing what it really is, those people aren't for healing. They are still to be loved, And I care for them and I love them, but if they deny their own heart and they build walls around their own heart that don't allow them to react and act in love, to respond in love, to express their own selves, they're the ones who are wounding themselves. They are hurting, but in the process, they wound others. So what I would encourage you to do is to love yourself, to look into who you are and to love that, and to look next to you, around you, into this larger world, and to care, to love others, and to be aware of what goes on, to be aware of ego expressions of those who want to direct the way history is remembered, the way history is designed and taught. To be aware of that and to say no. Those great expressions on the tapestry of life of all these great, bold, rich, powerful people, mostly men, that's not love. Those things are ego expressions, and they are things that don't help any of us to heal. Look at the background. Look at the stains on that white background. Look at and think about what they mean. And think about the stains perhaps that others have piled on you that say these are blemishes in your life. Doesn't matter. Awaken to who you are, to your greatness, your power. Step into your joy and divinity and love yourself and heal, and then love others and help them to heal. Offer this today. Don't know if it will have any merit for anyone beyond myself, but I offer it to you in love. Till next time.